Hi friends. Today we are going to discuss about the DevOps. What is DevOps and AWS and machine learning? How machine learning is going to elaborate in the future. Especially, I am going to discuss about the DevOps. What is DevOps and how Linux we will work on Linux and Python and different languages, which is useful, especially for DevOps. Most of the time, I'm coming to my view. I'm a I'm a mechanical engineer from JNTU Hyderabad. I completed my BTech uh, from JNTU Hyderabad, having 15 years of IT experience. Uh, Hi, one and all. Once again, I'm going to discuss about the DevOps with AWS today. DevOps training. Today is the first training class of the students. I'm going to discuss about the DevOps and machine learning, especially DevOps and AWS, Amazon Web Services, how it is helpful for uh, development and operations team. What is DevOps and what how it will be effectively useful in different languages in nowadays. Coming to today's class, we are discussing about the Linux. The main concept of this class is development and operation. How before in the olden days, how it is useful in waterfall model, and nowadays how the development and operation team using CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration and continuous deployment or delivery pipelines useful in with the help of Jenkins, Puppet, and Chef, and OpenStack and OpenShift. Different companies are using cloud. I'm going to discuss about the three clouds: Azure, GCP, AWS. I'm mainly discussing about the AWS and DevOps. Coming to the point of view with the DevOps team, uh, Amazon Web Services, how it will be helpful in day to day day to day provides compute space capacity of the cloud. AWS as before coming to the class, the technical deep drive of beyond the basis intent of the educate how to get the best of AWS services and show the things of work resizable computing. Why all the companies are going to be put in the cloud. In olden days, we used to have uh, all the companies don't have the sufficient uh, why cloud, and every company is shifting to the cloud due to the security. Most of the companies don't have the reliable, the big data things in their in olden days. They don't have the data centers to keep their security, to keep the security, the hacking, uh, to uh, to keep away from the hacking things. Most of the companies are migrating to the cloud by designing the web scale cloud computing easier. A true virtual computing environment launching instances with a variety of operating systems like Debian, Fedora, and Ubuntu. Run of many systems you have a desire of many few systems. Why elastic computing? Most of the Amazon EC, all the Amazon uh, elastic cloud computing, all the there are different type of elastic cloud computing in Amazon. Not only web scale, reliable and easy to start, controlled by expensive due to the expensive. There are three major roles: due to expensive, due to the cost reduction. We Most of the companies are secure. They are moving to the Amazon as well as the cloud computing. Why Amazon easy to beta? innovating never takes break. Neither do I from start streaming the Q- uh, I would like to tell you about Amazon Elastic Compute. Amazon Elastic Compute is open limited beta testing. The beta slots to open soon. Amazon is to have access to virtual computing environment application of virtual VPC, virtual private cloud, virtual CPU, the equivalent 1.7 gigahertz Xeon processor, 1.7 GB RAM, and 160 GB. Second, network bandwidth, easy to beta. The innovative never takes break. Neither do I from streaming the breaches of uh, Kabasan Lucas. Why the Amazon is number one today in cloud computing other than cloud companies. Most of the three clouds, GCP or Azure. Why most of the uh, cloud market out of the three clouds, most of the 60% has been by Amazon. Next 30 by Azure and 10 by GCP. Most of the companies have their own cloud computing. Suppose the AT&T, if you take the example AT&T, they have their own IBM has their own uh, cloud system that in the databases. Now used to have when we compare to the other companies, small scale startup companies and small scale industries, they used to use based upon the Amazon itself. But my starting company started with the EC2, where we are using for uh, US based company for testing and more beta slots. We use EC2 for big data and Hadoop. We use for Amazon, which we have either good access as well as most of the access user friendly, and most of the test betas is very easy for the customers. The new accounts default for long EC2 resources, IDs, March announcing support of security group references, peer VPC. When comparing to other cloud computing, their own companies like the big companies like uh, uh, Cisco, they don't have DNS support like VPC, virtual private cloud. They don't support all these things. But compared to the Amazon is the very well known non-hackable site where AWS Cloud Formation adds support for Amazon's VPC and NATGate and Amazon Container Registry. The more sophisticated agenda is Amazon EC2 concepts. Today I'm going to discuss about the Amazon EC2 concepts. Amazon EC2 storage network. Why storage network is number one in marketing? When ethical hacking, when we go with discuss about the ethical hacking, most of the ethical hackers uh, have their own storage networks based upon the Amazon storage network and uh, monitoring and metrics logs, security and access control, deployment and cost optimization. Amazon EC2 concepts, fundamentals. Most of the EC2 storage network is depend upon Amazon EC2. Yeah, Amazon EC2 itself. Uh, Thanks for joining my class. This is the first AWS class for my students. We are discussing about EC2 instance in Amazon, the concepts of EC2, electric cloud computing, EC2, E for elastic, C for compute, 2 C double C, elastic cloud compute. The latency of minimized cost. Why AWS? Amazon other than Azure or else GCP. Even though Azure is the old model in the market, Azure has a TMS foundation server. But now the best thing which is supportable for AWS as well as other cloud is AWS. Most of the companies are startup companies goes with the AWS. Not only startup, most of the companies more reliable than their own cloud network. Amazon, Azure, there is a little bit difference. In Azure, there is a TFS call in Jenkins. Is the open source system where we need to pull all the database like Java based PLSQL, everything any can support. But compared to Azure, Azure has Team Foundation server. It has inbuilt uh, uh, inbuilt like Jenkins. It is inbuilt in Azure. Distinct in location that we are even AWS can support a different artificial intelligence as well as robotic process automation, robotics. There is a robotics in AWS. It is an instance where which will work robotics and machine learning. There is SageMaker, which is very much helpful for today's machine learning. My dear friends, we are going to discuss about low. Most of the time I'm discussing about EC2 availability zones. EC2 provides a wide selection of instances optimized in different cases. Instance types comprise varying combination of CPU memory storage and networking capacity. Imagine EC2 fundamentals. Choice of instance families differs the resources ratios. Import and export virtual machines, purchasing option cost optimization, compared to cost optimization depend upon Debian, CentOS, Microsoft Azure, Microsoft servers, Amazon Linux. We have mission images. Amazon mission images. Amis are the configured with the ever growing list operating systems. We will discuss in the partners of that we communicate to provide the most choice possible. Most of the time, EC2, Debian, Red Hat. There are Debian, CentOS, Linux, Windows Server, SISU Linux, Ubuntu, Fedora, Debian, and CentOS, Gentoo Linux, and Oracle Linux, and FreeBSD. And compared to the softwares, AWS marketing, SAP Business Objects, LAMP stack installation, and Drupal. Amazon Workplace. We will discuss about the Elastic Blackstore, CloudWatch, Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, AWS Identity and Access Management, on-demand instances, resource instances provide the significant discounts about 75% on on-demand instance and prices. Stop instances. VM import, virtual mission import and export. Easily import the mission images from your existing environment, Amazon EC2 instances, and export them back to your premises environment. This offering this offering leverages existing investments of virtual missions like machine learning. What machine learning is ready to use the instances, export, import, and instances back to the premises virtual image infrastructures. I'm discussing, especially today, I'm going to discuss about why Amazon Cloud EC2 and EC3, storage S3, service storage system, where we use general process M4, compute optimization C4, and memory optimized R3, and storage optimized D2. Generation of the low cost of EC2 instances. Most of the why we are going with the low cost and free available with the help of EC2 instance busful performances. The computing where we take EBS, the storage EBS only large scale. When we take latest process technology, depending upon the latest, we use uh, 3.GB virtual private cloud, 4GB, 15GB, and 30GB, and EBS. Depending upon the GB, depending upon free zone, we will take about the X1 instance in EC2 memory optimization family design running a large scale in memory application. Database in AWS cloud. Depending upon the uh, getting started with the EC2. In- Depending upon the memory location, we will run with the security group. Amazon Mission Image ID, AMIS, Amazon Mission Image, AMI, Mission Learning. When we discuss about the mission learning, Amazon Mission Images IDs, depending upon the face ID, we will we face recognition. Mission learning mission will learn the IDs, the image ID. If suppose we are using Amazon Amazon instances, we use we use Amazon mission image ID, AMI, Amazon. It will especially we will discuss about the EC2 instances. Why EC2 instances is most popular than other technologies nowadays? Why Jeff Bezos is number one in market in AWS? Why Amazon is number one compared to the Flipkart other than the AWS? Why? Because of their reliable tendencies, and they are giving a number one uh, credibility, and user friendly and customer free, and customer reliability. Orchestration. When we go to the AWS market, most of the market is depending upon the AWS. 60% of AWS cloud has been acquired by AWS, and 30 by Azure, and 10 by GCP. I'm going to discuss in other classes. I'm going to discuss about the other classes, next classes, about how machine learning and AI, using virtual cloud, how machine learning AWS is useful for machine learning, as well as artificial intelligence and deep learning and neural science. Why Python and Linux become a number one in today's market, and based upon the EC2 instances, I'm going to discuss about CLI, AMIS, AWS AMIS, and uh, dev apps development team. When we more in olden days, we used to take most of the time in production. In development, it takes for a developer, it takes almost 15 days to 10 days to develop a program. Nowadays we don't have that much of time to deliver, only 3 days to 2 days, with the help of these dev apps tools. We don't need to sit and write the code all the day with the big data clusters, using showback and multiple tenant clusters, visibility to one resource utilization, job and workload management, cluster tuning, and capacity planning. Why DevOps other than other tools? When we go to number of tools are there, middleware tools like uh, there are other. Why DevOps other than what are the advantages and disadvantages? When we go to the other tools like Java and development tools, we need a time to develop all the web services, XML language. We need a time to develop a code, and for operation team, we have to develop in uh, for production team, we have to develop it takes time to from production to take for production, and it takes to time to test it. But when developer release the code, it takes to test the code, it takes time. For this we need a dev apps. Development and operation team is nothing but dev apps. Dev apps is nothing but develop. It is the methodology where uh, where the development and operation team sits and discuss about the uh, it is a set of practices and combine software development and information technology operation, which aims shorten the system and development life cycle. It is where we are reducing the system and development lifetime cycle by providing continuous delivery and continuous deployment. Continuous delivery, CI/CD pipeline. Most of the DevOps is based on CI/CD pipeline itself. It is a set of combination software development and information technology operation which aims system development lifecycle and continuous delivery for high software equality, for high level software quality. Academic practitioners have not developed a unique identification in DevOps. Researchers says CISRO and software institutes, most of the software institutes are developing system practices. When we go to the Scrum team, Scrum Master, and when we go to the Scrum team and Sprint works, for sprint works only works for only 2 to 3 weeks. For this sprint work, all the software people develop the code and works and releases for 3 to 4 weeks. For this development team and operation team discusses, it takes about to help a giant configuration foundation with the consultants. DevApp resource launched by Alana Brown and Puppet. The State of DevOps is conceived launched by Alana Brown Puppet in 2014. The annual State DevOps report published by Nicole Frozen and Jen Kim and Campbell and others in 2014. They found the DevOps adoption is a acceleration in 2014 by Lisa Crispin and Janet Gregory. The more agile testing and testing, the chapter of testing and DevOps. As a DevOps is intended a cross-functional mode of work who practice the methodology use different sets of tools like Jenkins code there are different code and building and testing and packaging and releasing and configuration. There are 7 steps with for coding, source code management tools like code source code management. We use Jenkins, build and continuous integration, build tools and testing. We use Selenium, continuous CI/CD, continuous testing. It it took the tool provides a quick and timely feedbacks. The business risks. Packaging artifact repository. For artifact repository, we use JFrog Refactory. Releasing and change management, release automation. Configuration management. uh, Configuration management, infrastructure configuration and management as a code tools. Monitoring tools, suppose for monitoring application performance monitoring, end user experience. Jenkins, GitLab and Bitbucket. We use Terraform, Ansible, Puppet for infrastructure code as a code. Terraform, Ansible and Puppet. For some categories, we are essential using DevOps toolchain than other asset continuous integration like Jenkins, GitLab, Bitbucket, and source code management and continuous integration. Main article for Agile software development, Agile and DevOps. Before in 1990s, we use waterfall model where we serve the complementary roles, several standard DevOps practices such as automated build and test, continuous integration. Jenkins is where we use for continuous integration. The build and test, continuous integration, and continuous delivery orientation, agile world that which dates information in the 1990s from formally in 2011. Agile can be viewed addressing communication gap between the consumer and developers. For this, the DevOps addresses the gaps between developer and IT operations. Why DevOps? Why DevOps? When we are in the real time in the world, why DevOps compared to other technologies? The, to fulfill the gap between the developer and operation team, DevOps addresses the gap between the developers and IT operations infrastructures. Also, DevOps focuses in olden time in olden times when we are working with Ant script, we use write in Ant script by using XML language. For middleware tools like TIPCO BW. and Acumatrix as well as Oracle Sova and OSB. We used to like write the XML language, but when we came into the new DevOps, we don't have that much of time to design and develop the write the code all the time. The tool chains like design, we now the open source tools like uh, OpenStack, OpenShift got a radical change in test apps in the new architecture agile tech methodology. In 1990s to 1980s, 1990s to 2001, the agile is a views addressing communication gap between the consumer and developers, while DevOps addresses the gaps between developer and IT operation infrastructures. When we take the Facebook as well as uh, Indian Railways as well as the uh, Indian Airlines, when we take the uh, passengers arrangement, when we take the passenger arrangement, suppose a customer, when we took the red bus is the best example. And a customer needs a book a ticket on a red bus. If you sometimes when it will shuffles, it all depend upon the containerization. Docker for containerization. Most of the um, Facebook, when we take an example, Facebook out of hues of million photos, Facebook is hiding where Facebook works on PHP of course, but where the data of million of photos are they are capturing, where the data is going back to the they are all keeping all the data in a cloud in the database with the help of big data and teradata. With the help of the DB tools like MongoDB, they MongoDB, uh, all the DB tools they run with the they keep all the data the back to back the Facebook photos. They keep all the camera all the data in a big data and teradata. Suppose when we take Hyderabad or else Bombay or else Delhi, they every traffic signal they are videos which are recording about the uh, theft theft recovery. When we go to the Walmart and DMart or else any marts, Walmart, DMart, all the infrastructure tools are going back. The data where the data is going to store means the help of the big data. That coming to the test of continuous delivery, I'm going to discuss about the test operation, where the hardware develops what the develops of the software development, the idea of the tool chain links the design test operations together. In the case of hardware design means EDA tools and CAD department. Test means electronic measurement equipments and oscilloscopes. There are big cameras where in a junctions like uh, Panjagutta junctions, where the huge data is all the bus data, all the passengers list in like Secunderabad station. All the cameras are fixed. The data will be stored in big data. When we where the back data is going on, the day to day is going on. Suppose today data will be stored in one place, tomorrow data will be stored in one place. All the data will be captured and reduced in one place in a data center. With the data center, sometimes we there are two or three data centers in the world. Suppose Google and Microsoft. Google has data centers and Microsoft has a different data centers. One of the data centers is in US, one of the data centers is in Singapore, one data center is in London. If national calamities like earthquakes, major disaster, the national calamities, earthquakes, as a human uh, fire accidents, all the data has one data center has been crashed. Suppose one data London, uh, if London has acquired has done with the earthquake, our data center has been closed. The data will be stored in other place, like uh, in Singapore. That data will be boosted with the servers, with the help of the servers. This will be helpful with the different servers. All the servers run with the software conjunctions. Continuous delivery in the DevOps is the common goals for often conjunction. There is a substantial differences while continuous delivery and continuous integration, where continuous integration will be successful. Hi, sorry friends. When we discuss about the data centers, why we I'm discussing about the most of the time I'm discussing about the most of the time dev apps La, lean management, agile methodology, lean thinking, a small changes in the focus, value, end to end customer. Why the customer when the data apps there is a data apps in the data app seeks the data engineering, data integration, data quality, data security in the operations team, data agile development, statistical process and lean manufacturing and extra value data analysis. System administration, WinOps, Toyota production systems, and thinking uh, DevSecOps shift security. Criticism and cultural change. DevOps has initiated to create cultural changes in the companies like transformation and operation and testers and collaboration during the development and delivery. Getting the operation to work and achievements enterprises DevOps operation much as a culture and DevOps describes the approach to work rather than the system administration and system advertisement increases success using terms like DevOps engineer. Why DevOps engineer is number one culture in the IT market, in the IT organization, performance in the culture, such as information flow collaboration, shared reliable relationships, learning. When we are discussing about the uh, DevOps, how to run the instances. When we are discussing about the DevOps with data, big data, summarizing the big data concepts like uh, uh, parameters, investigation with the big data. This is a good tell you about the big data, why big data, velocity and data size, volume, data size, speed change, and different forms of the data sources, veracity, productivity. These are the most of the time we are using big data and reliability. Google, Liveno, Livenos. Today I'm going to discuss about the mainly about EC2 DevOps with the building systems of delivery faster reliability. The parameters and monitoring about logging, track analyzation metrics, understanding the real-time performance infrastructures and applications. Benefits of DevOps. improve collaboration, rapid delivery. Why DevOps? Why DevOps other than all the technology? Because with the development DevOps only, all the rapid delivery, most of all the delivery in olden days we don't have that much of faster delivery. Now faster delivery and reliability, improved collaboration, security, and scale and speed. And look back to the development at Amazon. Why Amazon is monolithic application teams, microservices to two pizza items. Things went to better to understanding the model's theme to realize faster and ever, but we felt it would still improve. In 2009, we have studied to find about where inefficient might still existing. We just waiting for wait to write a code, build a code, and deploy to test and to deploy to production. We are just writing the build code and deploy test and to the production. We are just waiting for deployment. We are just waiting hours to hours. But we built a tools to automate our software release processes, automate actions and transitions from check to production faster, safer, simplification and standardization, virtualization of processes. This is caused the continue to work out the really well. In 2004, thousands of service teams across Amazon building microservices production, practicing continuous delivery. Most of the time, many environment staging beat up million deployments has been continued to work with the help of Amazon. In satisfactory pipeline services, continuous delivery is happier. Where do you start? Five major phases in release and monitor is source, build, test, deploy, and monitoring. Second, sources code using Java, JSON files, .java files, and new code. The compile code, unit test code, style checkers, code matrix, and create container images. Like when we go to the Docker, how to pull uh, the images, how to pull the images, Docker containerization, where we do the cloning in Git, integration tests with the other systems, load testing, UI tests, penetration testing. In deployment, deploy to production environments, monitor code to production equally quickly and detect the activity or errors. In release process, there are four types: source, build, test, and production, continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment. CI/CD. What is CI/CD? Continuous integration and continuous delivery. What continuous integration and continuous delivery and continuous deployment. The AWS source code, AWS code services, software release steps. That these are the software release steps: source, build and test and deploy and monitor. When we are giving the source code to build and test and deployment and monitor the code, AWS code commit, AWS code build, AWS code build third party, AWS code deploy, and AWS X-ray, and AWS Amazon CloudWatch, and AWS code pipeline. Coming to the AWS DevOps portfolio, software development and continuous delivery tool chains like AWS CodeStar, AWS Code Commit, AWS Code Build, and AWS Code Deploy, and AWS Code Pipeline, AWS Cloud Formation, and AWS OpsWorks, and AWS OpsWorks and Chef Automate, and AWS X-Ray, AWS CloudWatch, and AWS CloudTrail. Build and test your applications. Why fully managed services build compiles the source code, run the tests, process 1 minute, and compute resources used, and launch an AWS code pipeline and Jenkins. How to work the down? How does it works? Download source code, execute commands, and source code are generator with the S3 bucket. Why a and integrate? How can we automate to release the process code AWS code build? Integrate with the AWS code build and CI/CD. Usually, pluggable API, API and CLI driven. Bring your own build environments, creating to create Docker images containing tools and need. Open source Jenkins plugins use AWS code build as a worker of for Jenkins masters. Build ML example. Build pack ML example. When we are using ML language, yet another, what is ML? Yet markup language. ML. Yet another YAML. Why ML? What is ML? Yet markup language. Version environment Java code open JDK. We this is the where we use the build code ML example. Variable used for the phases to deploy can do in the phases to build and packages run the commands to prepare your environment to install run syntax example. This is the syntax example how to run in Maven build code. No build is required. Many languages do not require building. These PHP, Ruby, Python, and Node.js. Uh, these these are considered as interpreter languages. What are the interpreter? Most of the software engineers still know what are the interpreter languages like Ruby, Python, Node.js, PHP. Many languages don't require building, but these are the considered as interpreter language. PHP, where the Facebook is runs on PHP, Ruby on Rails, Python, and Node.js. You can have just these are runs with the help of EC2, where we can just deploy the code with the help of Node.js, Ruby, and Ruby on Rails, Python script, and Ruby. Testing your code. How will the test code? Testing is both science and an art form of goals of testing. Testing your code. What to confirm intent functionality. Catch programming syntax error, standardized code, and patterns of the patterns format. Reduce bugs due to unwanted application usage and logic failures. When there are logical failures, suppose test a developer has made a mistake, it is goes to the production and tests. In testing, it will find that the developer has made a mistake. To find this bug, we are reduced again. It takes 2 to 3 days to find until a tester got when we it the production project has been when the project get to final stage of testing, where there is a failure in testing. Again it goes back to developing team, and then the tester will identify the testing in QA testing or manual testing. They find that there is a failure. Again they debug. The debug thing will be go back to the testing developing team, and again comes to the production team. Then it backs to testing. For this, we want to confirm the intent functionality, catching program syntax error, standardization codes, and reduce bugs due to unwanted applications, uses a logic failures, make application more secure. What are the focus your tests? 10% UI testing, 10% service, 20%, and 70% in unit testing. What are the services and relay steps and corresponding the tests? Services, third party tools. Tests will be third party tools. Unit testing, AWS code build, and pricing. Pay by minute. Three compute types of configuration amount and CPU memory processes process and compute instant types, depending upon the small size, big size, and medium size and large size. Depending upon the memory, we will allocate depending upon the 3 GB, 7 GB, 4 GB, 15 GB. Depending upon the memory, we will allocate the size in CPU virtual cloud platform. The price will be 0. Point 0.00 dollar, $0.10, $0.20. Free tier 100 built minutes. Deploy your application. Automates code deployment in many instances handles the complexity of updating your applications. Avoid downtime during application deployment. Rollback automatically a failure detects. Deploy Amazon EC2 instances. Apps send application files by group speed by depending upon the orchestration build services. We will deploy the pipeline models using AWS code pipeline continuous delivery services orchestration builds tests and deploy your code every time there are code changes. Integration third party tools in AWS code pipeline using source code GitHub. AWS build AWS code pipeline, Java apps, Elastic Beanstalk, and my application source code and GitHub. AWS code built and notify builders Lambda. Lambda will help to notify the developers and parallel actions like uh, Java app, Elastic Beanstalk. Source code like my application built AWS code build, notify Lambda and run scope. Manual for manual QA team, manual approval review, elastic code compute, scalability, availability, durability of Amazon S3, source control in the cloud. What are the four types? Source code to be controlled in the cloud, secure, fully fully management, high availability, store anything. AWS git pull and push. How Git will be pull and push to SS secure shell to our HTTPS AW code commit, Git objects in AWS S3, and Git index in Amazon Dynamic DB, DynamoDB, and Enscript AWS KMS. Keys in AWS schemes. Okay, friends, I am going to discuss how Ruby and Rails, Java Springs, Python, Node.js, and in coming classes, I am going to discuss about the how Python. I will teach you Python, Linux. In another classes, we'll discuss about the Python, Python Django, Node.js, Ruby and Rails, Java Springs, Spring Boots, Express, Express.js, and PHP, and PLSQL, NoSQL. Uh, how it will be especially used in machine learning, deep learning, as neural science and artificial intelligence. Robotic process automation. Why I'm especially discussing about robotic process automation? This is my project concern where I'm working with. I worked with my project. My final project is output in robotic process automation. Why the project in with the help of GitHub and AWS. I will discuss about all the things where I am using the real time. Having 2 years of overall 2 years of experience, I am very well versed with all Devops tools like Linux, Python, and Python Django. and we will discuss all in the next classes, coming classes. How AWS is most of the AWS is useful for nowadays. I am well versed with the AWS, no Azure as well as GCP. Most of the time, I will discuss about AWS itself. If you want, I will discuss about uh, OpenShift as well as OpenStack in my further classes, my dear friends. AW CodeStar. I'm discussing about the AW CodeStar and project team, how it will work in CodeStar and application, traditional debugging, and breakouts through the X-ray. AWS X-ray helps why how it will be helpful in using AWS SDK and non AWS services HTTPS, MySQL, PostgreSQL. SQL. I will discuss about Nginx, Splunk, Nagios, DynamoDB, and Amajas SQS. Thank you for listening my class. Please do subscribe my channel Devops with. Thank you, friends. Thank you for watching my channel. Please do subscribe and my YouTube channel Devops by John Xavier in YouTube, and please do subscribe so that you can receive more notification in YouTube. Please do click on bell icon Devops by John Xavier. Thank you for watching. And in next class, I'm going to take Zoom classes. I don't want to secure all my company secures. This will be affect to my career. That's why I'm not discussing all in public platform. So please do have for further classes. My fee concern are for DevOps 65K for one to one discussion. I will charge 65K depending upon one to one corporate training. I will take 65K. Please ping me and please mail me to my mail ID. Please to subscribe my channel, so please do keep on comments so that I can reach you in time. Thank you, friends. Please do subscribe my channel DevOps and AI Artificial Intelligence by John Xavier. Thank you. Please do subscribe and click my bell icon so that you can get more notification from my end. Thank you. Have a nice day.